It was an absolute bloodbath in week 2, but we still got Monday Night Football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're here to talk some football. And I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'll give you the bad news first. You guys already know it. It was an absolute bloodbath for me. It was such a rough weekend. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. These kind of weekends happen in football, but we're going to go over the bets recap and all that kind of stuff. But if you are new to betting, these things do happen to every handicapper out there. They have bad weekends. That's why bankroll management is always key. And of course, we're going to go over every single bet in the recap because that's we're just transparent with all that. But I do have good news. We are giving away 2 more Outlier free months. That's right, 1 free month to 2 people. Here's all you have to do. Hit that like button and leave a comment below. And we will pick 2 random people to be a winner of the free month of Outlier. And you guys already know how I feel about Outlier. It's just been a huge help in all sports. It's been incredible. Gives you more info than I can even explain in a video. Just a one-stop shop, saves you a ton of time, as well as giving you very valuable information. So go check that out in the link below as well. But we're going to give 1 free month to 2 different people. So I want to just real quick use this bad weekend to remind people of a few things because I've seen a lot of negative comments on other YouTube channels, on Twitter, on everything. And this isn't directed just at you guys, but if you are new to betting and following channels, let's try to stay positive because if you don't know much about betting, the elite gamblers in here, they are right about 55 to 57% of the time. Gambling and sports betting is very hard. We will all have bad weeks, all have bad days. And luckily, we've had a community that's been extremely positive, and I appreciate it. But we are a community. We are in this together. When we lose together. When we win together. I know when you guys are telling me your bets in the comments, I'm pulling for your bets and all that kind of stuff. So let's just keep that up. You guys have been positive for like 2 years now. It's been impressive. I just want to throw that reminder out there, even on other channels as well. Just stay positive. We'll all bounce back. We all work hard. So that's all I got for you for that little rant. But I was very frustrated with the weekend, that's for sure. But I got an NFL fun fact and then right into the video. This is a quick one. Tim Tebow is the only quarterback drafted by the Broncos that has won a playoff game as a Bronco. John Elway was not drafted as a Bronco. Absolutely crazy stat right there. I know Ryan loves that. He's a huge Tim Tebow fan. But in this video, we're going to recap week 2, and it is going to be ugly, and we're still going to do it. We're going to learn from it, and I'm going to own up to it. And then I'm going to give you 3 quick takeaways from week 2. I want to just talk a little football and maybe talk through it with you guys of some things that are happening, because after 2 weeks, you got to start changing how you view teams a little bit here and there. And then we're going to, of course, preview the Monday Night Football game between the Falcons and Eagles and give our best bets, leans, whatever it is, and finish it with that recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help the algorithm, help this channel grow and more people to see it on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're now on our way to 29,000 subscribers. Cannot thank you guys enough. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support also on the Kerm show before kickoff this morning. That was a lot of fun talking some ball. So let's get right into it. And it starts with the recap. All right, I don't want to do this segment, but I have to. So here we go. It was the worst NFL weekend I've ever had. I will bounce back. I am determined, but I learned a lot, that's for sure. Rams team total over 23.5. Didn't get the job done. They were absolutely horrendous. They got blown out by the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray looked like a stud. Marvin Harrison played really well, and the entire Rams offense stunk. Their defense stunk. Everything about that team stunk today. We just take it on the cheek and we move on. Cooper Kupp did leave early. That's not why we lost, though. Teaser: Detroit -1.5, Baltimore -2. How about both not covering? That's right. They both lost at home. Baltimore blew a 10-point lead at home to the Raiders, and the Detroit Lions almost got the job done. They were close at the end of the game, but the Buccaneers played really good football. And then under 38.5, guys, they went nuts in the first quarter, and then they finally decided to play like I thought they would. Even with a ton of points in the first quarter, this game almost cashed. There's 20-17. If the Seahawks missed a field goal to end the game, we cashed, but they made it and went into overtime. So we lost. Cowboys -6. How was that read? That was pretty good, huh? Saints absolutely destroyed them. The Cowboys suck, apparently, and the Saints are Super Bowl contenders. I'm just joking, but seriously, that was absolutely wild. We'll talk a little bit more about the Saints here in just a little bit. And then player props. You know, obviously game bets and baseball and this have gotten off to rough starts. Well, baseball's pretty much been all year, but player props I thought were going to pull us through. Amari Cooper over 50.5 receiving yards. I think he ended with like 12 or 15 or something. He had another 40-yard, 50-yard pass that he dropped. I don't understand. 2 weeks in a row, he's done that now. He catches that freaking ball, and we cash it. But that's football. That's receiver props. Chris Godwin, the best bet of the day. Well, there wasn't many of them, but he cashed this in the first half. Baker loves looking his way. Alvin Kamara over 4.5 receptions. Guys, here's the deal. I didn't expect the Saints to score 50, and I didn't expect Kamara and them to just run all over them. They didn't have to throw it to Kamara. He did drop one pass, but he only ended with 2, so it didn't matter. It was just the whole entire game script. I knew that was a loss from the second quarter. They were just running all over the Dallas Cowboys. Bo Nix over a half interception. He got the job done for me. Thank God I needed something. And then this is just brutal to end my day. Like, as if the mental grind wasn't enough for me today, I turned the game on after going on a little family walk, get some fresh air. I turned the game on. The very first play, they show Stephon Diggs. He runs a route for 21 yards and catches it. He had no targets at that point in the game. That was in the second quarter. He couldn't catch a 20-yard pass, had to be 21. But luckily, 4 of these bets were a quarter unit, and all those anytime touchdowns were a quarter, or those were all 4 were a half unit, and these other ones were a quarter unit. That's the only positive, I guess. But Jonathan Taylor didn't get in because the Colts suck on offense. Najee Harris, they didn't score many points, and Cooper Kupp left the game early, and you all know what the Rams did on offense and the entire game. So just one of those days. Again, quarter unit each on the anytime touchdowns. We got to be better, but with one good week, we get it all back. So hopefully that is week 3. But anyways, that is the bets recap. But before we get into the Monday Night Football preview, let's talk some takeaways. All right, I lied. I got to show you the second page because we got to break down the entire overall record for you guys. And there it is. Game bets obviously took a hit. Everything took a hit this week. Anytime touchdowns profitable week 1, not in week 2. And then the trends parlay unfortunately did not hit. Not official, but that was a quarter unit. So the overall record now, we go from being up to down 5.32 units just like that in 1 week. So now it's time to get that back in week 3. But that's the overall record and the breakdown we like to give you guys every single time. And now it is time for the takeaways. All right, let's talk a little football real quick and just kind of go over a few things. I could probably do about 20 takeaways, but before I do this, leave me a comment below. Let me know your takeaways on what you've learned the first 2 weeks with these teams, because that's what it's all about. We only have 2 weeks to see these teams, and obviously they change week to week, and football is kind of wild like that. But first one, Saints and Bucks are better than I thought. Holy smokes, let's give them some credit. Saints, they have scored every single possession with Carr as the QB. 15 for 15 scoring drives. That is bonkers. If you told me that at the beginning of the season, I would think you are absolutely nuts and probably see pigs flying outside. It makes no sense. They dominated again today. The O-line was projected to be a bottom 5 unit this year, and they've played really well. Can they keep it up? I don't know. But as of 2 weeks and what I have seen, it's been unreal because they have opened up holes for Alvin Kamara, 35 carries for 198 rush yards in 2 games. I love watching Kamara play. He's so good. When he gets hit, his balance, his contact balance, and how he plays is just incredible. But either way, this team, I just don't understand it and how it's happening because Dennis Allen has not proven to be a good coach. But they have now outscored their first 2 opponents 91-29, and now they get the Eagles next week. Second one, Buccaneers. Listen, I thought they were better than the Saints, that's for sure. I thought they were still a pretty good team, but they look solid. Overall, it was a complete team win. Todd Bowles has them playing really, really good defense. If you watch them play against the Lions today, really good tackling team. They don't get beat deep. They make sure that they're not the one to make the mistake. And then Baker Mayfield looks good in the pocket. Looks good at kind of getting out of pressure sometimes, except for when Aiden Hutchinson was around today. And he's back to having Chris Godwin as an elite top tier wide receiver. My goodness, between him and Chris Evans, that's an actor, Mike Evans, he's as good as it gets on the outside, but they do need a running game to be a little more well-rounded, but I really like what I'm seeing from the Buccaneers. They look like a legitimate team right now. So second takeaway, struggling QBs. Bryce Young is done. Listen, I know it's early. He's only in the third game of his second season. He looks horrendous. He has a weak arm. He has no pocket presence. He is struggling in every aspect. Any stat or metric you see, including your eyes, tell you he is not a good quarterback. He just flat out isn't. It looks like the Carolina Panthers traded up all those picks to get a quarterback who can't do diddly squat. And then the second one, Daniel Jones, guys. I said earlier on the current show, I was like, if Daniel Jones can't do well against the Washington Commanders' terrible defense, the worst in the league probably, then we got to worry. It's time to worry. I was already worried, to be honest with you. They scored 18 points. he still struggles with inconsistency. He is not the guy. I mean, after this year, I don't even think he makes it through the year. But he is not the guy. He's going to be a backup quarterback, in my opinion. That's my takeaway. The Commanders have given up 27 plus points in 9 straight games, and the Giants can't even hit 20 today. It's just been a struggle. It's not all on him. There's some other things that are going on in New York, but ooh, it is ugly, that's for sure. And then Will Levis, my goodness, does this guy make some of the dumbest decisions you've ever seen? It's kind of like my betting in week 2, but he made another terrible decision on his way down to the ground this weekend, and he throws it on a backwards pass on the ground, fumble, other team gets it. It's just all he has is a strong arm. I'm not a fan of Levis. I don't think he's a good quarterback. That's my little rant. I'm probably missing other people, but those are some struggling QBs that I don't think have much left in the tank for the NFL, to be honest. And then the third takeaway, home field advantage not being as huge as it used to be. That's for sure. Road teams 7-5 straight up today, just straight up. 5-9 in week 1, which means they are 12-14 straight up for road teams. That is pretty good. If you guys remember, like 5 years ago, home teams just absolutely dominated. Home favorites this weekend, 0-4 straight up. This is a home favorite, like the Ravens, like the missing team, Lions, teams like that. They went 0-4 straight up, not against the spread. And then in the afternoon games, Texans games going on right now, but 1-0 in the afternoon games as a home favorite. That was just the Chiefs, and they needed a game-winning field goal at the buzzer to even win. And then underdogs this year of 7 or more points, 3-0 straight up. If they have been an underdog by 7 or more, they have flat out won the game every single time in the first 2 weeks. Just some wild numbers. Obviously it'll probably balance out a little bit, but home field just isn't what it used to be. Is kind of my takeaway from that. So, anyways, those are just 3 NFL takeaways. Like I said, leave a takeaway you got down below about your team, another team, the NFL in general, whatever it is. As you guys know, I love talking sports, not just betting only. But that's what I got for the takeaways. And now it is time for Monday Night Football. All right, we are heading out to Philly where the Eagles host the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football. Eagles -5.5 total, 46 points. The big news that just came out today on Sunday, A.J. Brown is out of this game. He has a hamstring injury. That's a big loss for Philly, obviously. Eagles are coming back from Brazil last weekend when they beat the Packers. To be honest, the Philly defense and the Atlanta offense are 2 units that actually struggled last week. We'll see what happens here. Kirk Cousins, we expected some struggles early, considering he didn't play preseason, had a big surgery, hasn't played in a while. So we'll see if he gets some of that rust off and plays a little bit better here. But in regards to this side, I don't have, when it was 6.5, I really liked Atlanta. But at 5.5, it's a stay away for me now. But I do have 2 bets for you, a 1-unit play and a half-unit play. Let's end this freaking week strong because Sunday really pissed me off. So here we go. Bet number 1, Ray McLeod over 2.5 receptions at -115 on DraftKings. This is my 1-unit play. I'm going to bypass those 3 studs in Atlanta and Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. I really like what I saw from him. Ray, what a great name. But he had the most targets for the Falcons last week. You may not know that. He had 7 targets with 4 catches. Cousins looked to get rid of the ball quickly, probably because of injury. Just something that was easy for him is also because it was against the Steelers, bringing pressure. But when you get rid of the ball early, that means that you're going to see Ray McLeod targets. He plays in the slot quite a bit, and he found some spots open in the middle of the field, and I think he's going to be there again. I think Kirk Cousins and him have a good connection so far. Like I said, he played over 50% of his snaps in the slot. Eagles defense did not impress me in week 1. They looked awful. You can say it's because of the Brazil field or whatever that was over there in Brazil. But in the second half of last year, they looked pretty bad too. So I'm not a believer in this defense. I think they're going to have some rough times again. Darius Slay and these boys, since they went to the Super Bowl, it just has not been the same type of defense. So Eagles are going to obviously be game planning more towards Bijan, towards Kyle Pitts, towards Drake London. I think Ray McLeod's number is 1 too low. I think this should be over 3.5. Like I said, 7 targets last week, and I see him getting the same kind of thing like that. And we could get an even better game script than week 1 also if they play from behind and have to keep up with the Eagles offense as well. Overall, it's a great matchup for Falcons wide receivers. The Eagles gave up the most pass attempts to their opponents last season. Why do you say that? Well, because they were decent against and stopping the run, but their pass defense was awful. Teams knew that they had to pass to score on this Eagles defense. And so I think there's a lot of passes coming. You can see it by Kirk Cousins' high pass attempts line. I think Ray McLeod, 2.5 catches. I don't care what he does with them. I just need him to catch the ball 3 times. I absolutely love this position, and I think his number is going to be going up as the season goes on. So give me Ray as my 1-unit play, and then my half-unit play. It's a beauty. Give me Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals made for a half unit at -125. Finally, my first kicker prop that I actually like this year. I was giving them out almost every week last year, but he hit 2 field goals in week 1. That's not the reason I like this. As long as the Falcons can slow down Barkley. That's the one thing. When they get in the red zone, I need the Falcons to just slow him down enough to attempt some field goals. But no A.J. Brown means a huge red zone target is off the team. And that's why I think they're going to get some more field goals here. Devontae Smith, great receiver, not exactly known as some huge red zone target or anything like that. I think he has the ability to attempt 2 or 3 here in this game. And here's the stat that you've all been waiting for. The Falcons allowed the second most field goal attempts last season. Sometimes that means something. That means their red zone defense isn't that bad. They actually let them move the ball into field goal range and then slow them down once they get there. They allowed 6 field goals to Pittsburgh last week. That's right, 6 field goal attempts to Pittsburgh. That was absolutely insane. No A.J. Brown. I like the matchup at home, which is when Philly's offense moves the ball a lot better as well. I think Elliott gets 2 field goals. And I think the only way he doesn't get it is if somehow Philly just continues to score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown and never gets slowed down. But I don't think that's the case without A.J. Brown. So give me Elliott over 1.5 field goals as my half unit play, and then Ray McLeod over 2.5 catches as my 1 unit play. And let's just make up for whatever the heck that was on Sunday. And those are my 2 best bets. So before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. There it is. Ray McLeod over 2.5 receptions for 1 unit, and Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals for a half unit. Those are my 2 winners because I need to speak this into existence. I just have to after the awful Sunday we had. But thank you guys for watching. Just a reminder, MLB Best Bets video will be out for Friday or for Monday's game, so be sure to check that out. But I appreciate the support, whether it's good or bad days. We're going to turn this sucker around. Leave your best bet in the comments below. Any takeaways you have, whatever it is. Let's talk some football. But I appreciate it. Hope you have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.